Welcome to today's class. This is for grade 9 students. We are doing the chapter A Truly Beautiful Mind. Now this whole chapter is about the great scientist Albert Einstein. As the very title over here reflects, so it's a beautiful mind, right? Very sharp, very intelligent, who has come up with so many innovative discoveries, inventions. That's like a gift to the mankind. We all are indebted to him for all his inventions throughout our life. Our modern life is, we can say, indebted to his inventions, all the discoveries that he has done over the periods. Now, so this whole chapter we will see that right from childhood, how he grows up and whatever he faces in his life. So I'm starting to read. Okay, so this is page 46, chapter 4 from your Beehive book. Now, Albert Einstein was born on 14th March 1879 in the German city of Ulm, without any indication that he was destined for greatness. On the contrary, on the opposite, his mother thought Albert was a freak. Freak is like a stupid fellow, okay, good for nothing. To her, his head seemed much too large. At the age of 2.5, Einstein still wasn't talking. When he finally did learn to speak, he uttered everything twice. Einstein did not know what to do with other children, and his playmates called him boring brother. So the youngster played by himself much of the time. He especially loved mechanical toys. Looking at his newborn sister Maja, he is said to have said, "Fine, but where are her wheels?" Okay, so he was born. Now he was a little different from the other little boys or the girls. So he had a much larger size of the head. So if you still go into the Google and try to figure out the facts, the size of his brain was much larger compared to the other common children. Now that was instead like a gift, so which is why he was so very intelligent, but that was proved later on. Initially, his mother thought that was like a flaw. Like, why is the head unusually so large compared to other children? So the mother was not happy by that way. Another was he started to speak also much later. Usually all the other children at the age of 1 only they start to speak. But for him it was 2.5 and still he couldn't speak well. Every word he tried to say twice or 3 times. So there was like a flaw in his speech also. He was very boring. No one really find him interesting to play with, interact with. So he was left all by himself. He used to play with toys, mechanical toys, so much that his newborn sister, when was in front of him, he thought that that is also like a toy. And he started to ask his mother that where are her wheels? Okay. Now, a headmaster once told his father that what Einstein chose as a profession wouldn't matter because he will never make a success at anything. Einstein began learning to play the violin at the age of 6 because his mother wanted him to. He later became a gifted amateur violinist, maintaining his skill throughout his life. You have the meaning amateur given at the side, that is doing something for personal enjoyment rather than professionally. So his headmaster said something which was very dejecting, that he is not good for anything, he will never become successful, he will never be able to do anything good all his life. So which shows that we should not be judgmental, right? At a young age, a child, we don't know what talent he or she has, how he or she will shine later on in life. So it's not fair enough to be judgmental at young age with the children. However, later on, he was not dejected. Though he heard such things, he went on in his own way. And he also started to learn violin. He was very much attracted by the tunes of it. But Albert Einstein was not a bad pupil. Pupil means student. He was good in studies. He went to high school in Munich, where Einstein's family had moved when he was 15 months old, and scored good marks in almost every subject. Einstein hated the school's regimentation and often clashed with his teachers. At the age of 15, Einstein felt so stifled there that he left the school for good. So usually what happens when a child, girl or a boy, is in high school, the child, the student as well as the parent never thinks about shifting the school because it is already high school. But for him it was different. He did not like the strict atmosphere of the school. He wanted freedom of thought and speech. So when he was different in his opinion, he wanted his teacher to listen to that, accept that, but he did not get the scope in the old school. So he was feeling very stifling over there, suffocating, and he decided to leave the school. So though he was in high school, he considered this to be very much important, that he should be allowed to do whatever he wanted. So he left the school. The previous year, Albert's parents had moved to Milan and left their son with relatives. This is because they did not want him to change his school when he is in high school. After prolonged discussion, Einstein got his wish to continue his education in German-speaking Switzerland, in a city which was more liberal than Munich. So as I said, he was very adamant. He did whatever he wanted. So finally he convinced his parents and he decided to change his school. Now he went to German-speaking Switzerland. There was a place, Munich, where he got admitted. So that was more liberal. So there he got the freedom to do whatever he wanted. His different opinions were heard and listened. Einstein was highly gifted in mathematics and interested in physics, and after finishing school he decided to study at a university in Zurich. But science wasn't the only thing that appeared to the dashing young man with the walrus moustache. Now walrus is the name of a sea animal, you know. It is found in the cold regions. So here he is described to have a moustache just like the walrus. So that is the description we can say. Now next page, he also felt a special interest in a fellow student, Mileva Maric, whom he found to be a clever creature. So his bent of mind was such that he's calling a friend of his who is very much close like a creature. So that is how he used to think, very scientifically of course. This young Serb is someone who is coming from Serbia, had come to Switzerland because the university in Zurich was one of the few in Europe where women could get degrees. So even if that was Europe, it's something about dated much earlier, right? Many years back. So even then, all places did not grant degrees to women. So this was one such university where even women could get higher degrees. Einstein saw in her an ally is friend, against the Philistines, those people in his family and at the university with whom he was constantly at odds. That means Philistines over here refers to people who loves art and music. He did not like such people, and this friend Mileva Maric also one such who used to love only science, not art and music. So that is how both of them came together. And they were always at odds with others because they never liked someone who was, in love with music or art. The couple fell in love. Letters survive in which they put their affection into words, mixing science with tenderness, wrote Einstein. How happy and proud I shall be when we both have brought our work on relativity to a victorious conclusion. So they both later on we will see that how they both also get married and they continue their work, their inventions also together for some years. In 1900, at the age of 21, Einstein was a university graduate and unemployed. So, though he completed his studies, he was excellent of course, but still then he was unemployed. He worked as a teaching assistant, gave private lessons, and finally secured a job. Secured a job is finally he got a job in 1902 as a technical expert in the patent office in Bern. While he was supposed to be assessing, that is examining, seeing, observing others people's inventions, Einstein was actually developing his own ideas in secret. He is said to have jokingly called his desk drawer at work the Bureau of Theoretical Physics. So he was into this office, patent office. His work was of a technical expert, just examining while others will be doing their invention. But what did he do? He did his job not very seriously because he was too much observed doing his own inventions, and that of course he kept secret. He had a drawer, a desk where he wrote all his theories, his inventions, so that was very much important for him. And he named that single drawer the Bureau of Theoretical Physics because a lot he had kept secret over there. One of the famous papers of 1905 was Einstein's special theory of relativity, according to which time and distance are not absolute. Indeed, two perfectly accurate clocks will not continue to show the same time. If they come together again after a journey, if one of them has been moving very fast relative to another. From this followed the world's most famous formula, which describes the relationship between mass and energy. So E equal to mc square. So this was one of the theories that he first discovered. You have the year 1905, and of course all this theory he kept in that drawer, and this was just the beginning. Later on we will see that how he moves on to make one by one many more inventions. Okay, so I'll stop here. In my next video I'll again continue from this part. Thank you.